Okay, hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new, and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 things that you can do in your planner every single month. And since we are just about to step into June, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do it along with you. So today we're going to be going through and doing my little new month reset in my Filofax Pocket. I'm going to be showing you how I set up my planner for a new month, and that does include things like my new pages, routines, intentions, and all sorts of other stuff like that. One of my personal goals for June is to finally learn how to sew bigger projects. I've always done like little pouches and just kind of like little trays and just smaller projects. I haven't really ever attempted anything too big, and so one of my goals for June, which is my birthday month, is to sew myself my own robe for my birthday. So it's going to be like my little birthday present to myself. I already have the fabric that I want to use, and I have some lace and just some different ribbons I want to sew onto it. And my goal really is just to have something soft and beautiful and just one of a kind, made for me by me. And I think it's just a really cool way for me to kind of just show myself a little bit of love as I go into my next year around the sun. So for the past few weeks, I have been soaking up all kinds of sewing tips and tricks on Craftsy, who is kindly sponsoring this segment of the video. If you're not familiar, Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. It's a massive community online where millions of crafters, makers, and DIY lovers go to find some inspo, build their skills, and also explore new hobbies. I originally started using it when I wanted to get some scrapbooking and planning inspo, and that eventually turned into me just binge watching a bunch of sewing classes. They offer over 2,000 classes in more than 20 popular categories, including things like crochet, knitting, painting, photography, cake decorating, woodworking, and the list just goes on and on. The classes are broken down into easy to follow lessons, and they're all taught by award-winning instructors. I love that it's really just walking you through step by step, which is personally something that I feel like I definitely need, especially if I'm learning a new craft or skill that requires a little bit of a technical skill. So it's nice that I never feel overwhelmed when I'm learning. You just really feel like you're being guided by someone who knows what they're doing, which is always a really big comfort to me. Because I know that if you're watching this video, you also are obsessed with planning and journaling and crafting like I am, I would definitely recommend checking out the travel scrapbooking class with Amy Tan. If you've ever wanted to add scrapbooking or kind of like a junk journal vibe to your planner, even stuff like this where I layer tea bags with some ruffles, with stickers and background pages and all sorts of stuff like that, if you're interested in learning that style, I would really recommend checking out that class for some inspiration. I loved how it was divided into short doable sections, and I already have a few more ideas that I'm probably going to be incorporating into my spreads this month. And before I forget, there's also a planner class on Craftsy that I would recommend checking out, especially if you're just getting into planning or maybe you want to refresh your system with some new ideas. And the best part is that the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description will get a full year of Craftsy premium membership for just $1.49. There's seriously such a wealth of information on there, so if you're looking for something to do for the summer, maybe you want to pick up a new hobby or a new craft, I would absolutely check out this offer down below. It's valid for new members only, so you definitely don't want to wait to grab it. Again, a huge thank you to Craftsy for supporting me and sponsoring this segment of the video. Let's go ahead and jump into planning for June together. Okay, so before we get into things like my habit tracker, my monthly spread, and all those other bits and bobs, I think we want to start with the number one most important thing to do in your planner before you start out the new month, and that is to review the previous month. I think that there is so much value and information that you can gain and learn about yourself when you go back through your systems and figure out what worked for you and also what didn't. I'll give you guys a good example of this. I, at the beginning of this month, started to write down weekly brain dumps on my typewriter, and I absolutely loved it because it was new, it was exciting, and I thought it'd be really fun to kind of integrate my typewriter into my planner. But unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to work for me from like a to-do list perspective. I think if I'm going to write something on my typewriter for my planner, it has to be something that is a little bit more stationary. So like this is a little motto that I've been living by lately, and it says, mornings matter, put down your phone, and live through your 12-year-old self's eyes. that's been my little personal memo to myself that has been keeping me kind of on the right path for where I want my life to go. Writing this down on my typewriter and having it in just like a cute, neat font on here has been really fun. However, using a to-do list like this with my typewriter has not been. When I'm doing my monthly reflection in my planner, I'm really looking for ways to improve for the next month. That way I can continue to make my life easier and also make sure that I'm improving on the systems that I have. That way you're never really gonna fall stagnant into anything. So for me, I realized that having it typed out like this isn't the best because I'm somebody who is really fluid with their to-do lists. And so instead of this, I have to have something like this. I need to see a new to-do list every single morning. I need to be able to write down everything and not worry about having to bring the paper to my typewriter to write it. Pen to paper works best for me. And so moving forward in June, one of my reflections was that I need to start just using plain pages in my Filofax. I went ahead and filled up on just like the first little part of my planner, a bunch of these just blank pages, and I have been using them for everything. I will do quick little notes, to-do lists, reminders, stuff that I don't want to forget, anything like that. It's been really nice for me to kind of have this fluidity back, and so I've kind of taken a step back from using a traditional to-do list, and I'm more so just giving myself a page at the beginning of the day and encouraging myself to just go with it. The other little reflection I made was my want to start doing daily pages again. I've been going back and forth on this for months now. I think I seriously just mentioned to you guys that I had stopped doing daily pages in here probably only a few videos ago, and we are officially back at it. This was my little schedule for today. I am highlighting everything that's personal in this like peachy color, and then anything that is work or content focused in purple. I also did group in pink for things like exercise and studying, so working on my MBA, just because I didn't really want to throw in another color into here, but I'm officially starting back up on the time blocking train, which is something that I constantly go back and forth on. And I think while I was doing my monthly reflection for this month, I really just realized that I'm missing that sense of structure. I really do think it just depends on the day, and it also a little bit depends on my mood. But sometimes if I just look at my day and I don't have any structure, I don't know what I want to do, it makes me feel a little bit panicked in a way. I just feel a little bit of anxiety going into my day, whereas when I have it a little bit more structured, I like knowing what I'm about to do, and I feel like having that mental preparedness has been a really good thing for me to start incorporating again. And so when you're looking at what worked or what didn't work in your planner spread for the previous month, I think it's important to note any systems that maybe you want to reintroduce. And for me, this was a really big one that I think I'm going to carry with me into June. Another thing you can do while you're reviewing on your previous month is review any one-line-a-days or any daily gratitude lists you might have. I also have a list in here called What I Accomplished, which I haven't actually updated for a few days, but this is basically a list of things that I did this month that I either feel really proud of, that was a notable moment for me, maybe something where I stepped out of my comfort zone, anything like that. And at the end of the month, something that I've been getting into doing is I just kind of read through everything I wrote down for my What I Accomplished list, and I go ahead and I put down a star in this column if I feel like it really stood out. And so Friday the 9th was a really big day for me. I started volunteering at a new place. It's been something I've had kind of on my mind and on my heart for a while, and so that was a really big moment for me. And then the following day, that Saturday, I faced my fears and I got a tattoo. This is one of those things that I think I was afraid of for a number of reasons, but I finally did it and I'm absolutely in love with what I got. I got an orchid kind of ornate pattern on my ankle and I just love it so much. And so that is going to be another one that I star. Doing this on a list like this is really nice when you're reviewing, just because if I ever want to look back on this maybe a month from now or a year from now, it's nice to be able to see what I thought was like a really big highlight in my life at that time. If you're somebody who likes to be a little bit reflective and maybe even a little bit sentimental, I would definitely recommend doing like a one-line-a-day or a What I Accomplished list, especially since we are about to start a new month. This would be a fantastic time to get started if you haven't already. Moving on to the second thing I do in my planner every single month, and that is write out my intentions. I thrifted this really cute peacock notepad thing the other day, and I think it's going to be the perfect size for my pocket planner. And so I think what I'm going to do is write down my monthly intentions on this today. When I'm setting my monthly intentions, I'm not really treating them like goals. So I'm not saying I want to move my body every day. I'm not saying I want to hit 10,000 steps or drink a certain amount of water every day. I personally categorize those as goals or things I want to achieve, whereas an intention is more related to how I want to feel and just kind of the overall vibe that I would love the next month to have. So like I mentioned, June is my birthday month, and what I really love to do is I choose one word at the beginning of the month that I feel really resonates with me. Also, before I forget, I am gonna write June 2025 at the top just so I don't forget. Now that I have my word of the month, I can now start writing down maybe different intentions, things I want to feel. I usually love to write these things down in the present tense. I find that that's really just a great way to connect yourself to it. Just a little tip there in case you're doing this along with me. So I'm going to write down I am steady, and I really just want that to represent the fact that I feel confident in myself, I feel sure of myself. It's kind of the vibe I'm going for there. And then I'm also going to write down I am calm. So there are my cute little monthly intentions, my monthly affirmations. I'm gonna go ahead and use my handy dandy hole puncher here, give it a little punch, and we will stick it in my pocket planner. So that is now safely inside my pocket planner, and now we can start the actual planning when it comes to a new month. The third thing I do every single month in my planner is update my monthly spread. So here's what my current one looks like for May. I did like a bluish gray theme for this one, and then this is the bookmark that I keep in so I can like easily flip to it in my planner. Let's go ahead and drop in another paper for June. And now is when you're gonna wanna do your bird's eye planning, as I call it. And so you're really just gonna wanna look at your entire month, write down any birthdays, appointments, bills, reoccurring tasks, anything like that. Go ahead and write it down in your planner and do a little bit of decorating while you're at it. I usually like to pick a color theme, and so like I said last month, or I guess this month, May, was a lot of blues and grays, and this month we are gonna go for green and dark gray. So what I like to do is I like to fill in any dates that I know for sure, and then I kind of decorate around it. That way I don't, you know, accidentally cover up something I don't want to cover up. Go ahead and circle the month at the top, which is 6, and then we know the first starts on a Sunday. So it is going to be this one right over there, 29 and 30. You're not going to be able to see it on this area of my desk, but right next to me, I do have my monthly calendar up on my computer. I have a lot of calendar dates that I usually add in either on like a recurring basis, so something that is like a birthday that I don't want to forget or just anything like that. And here is when I just kind of go in and do a little check-in to see if there's anything important I need to remember or make note of. Okay, so I actually just looked at my calendar and there's nothing crazy that I need to include. I'm probably gonna write in Father's Day, which is on the 15th. And then I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on here, but I do have a bearded dragon. Her name is Snuggles, and I got her on the 18th of June, so it's kind of like her little gotcha day. And honestly, that is about it for June. I think I have to ask my partner when his siblings' birthdays are, because I'm fairly certain somebody is born in June. I'll probably write that in later, but those are the only 2 important dates that I feel like I'll write down now. Usually the way my schedule works is I won't have anything at the beginning of the month, but usually within like a week, I'll be able to fill in more information. Like I'll know what days I'm gonna be volunteering. I'll fill in days that maybe I'm going out with friends or family or, you know, anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the washi tape. I usually go with the biggest one first, which is this really cute paisley-like pattern. Actually, I don't think it's called paisley. What would this be called? I'm honestly not sure. It just kind of reminds me of, I don't know, just some sort of floral ornate pattern. I'm gonna go with this greenish blue one on the side there. And then we're also going to connect it, I think. Go with another blue to tie it in on this side. I also have this cute little quote one. I think that I have to cut it down a little bit since I didn't use this all the way last time. And this one says making memories. So I think I'm going to tear that off and place it up here. I did also grab these. These are like see-through little stickers. Thinking I'm gonna add one over Father's Day and then another one over Snuggles Gotch Day, just because those are two of the main events that I have written down so far. I'm also gonna go into my two favorite sticker books at the moment. This one is the In the Garden one, and this one is the All Seasons one. Isn't the 22nd the summer solstice? I think it is. I want to say it is. Let's look it up really quick. Nope, never mind. It is the 20th. I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. And then let's see if we can find something that's a little summer inspired to add in. Just like that. And then my In the Garden sticker pack is so cute. I love these. I think that butterfly would be really pretty. We'll go ahead and add these. And then I'm also probably going to add the blueberries to this spread. These are super cute. Oh, we could also do this little box of blackberries. Oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot to tell you on here, but I just got baby chickens. They are so cute. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little baby chick on here as well. I'm thinking we're gonna integrate some yellow into this June spread. I think it just happens to be the way this one is going. So we're going with blues and yellows. This is a cute little plant we can add somewhere. Maybe I'll put it here. And then at that point, I kind of just want to cover this entire side with some stickers. I sometimes call this making a sticker border. I find that it's just a really cute way to use up stickers if you're wanting to decorate and just kind of have fun with your spread. I think I'm somebody who tends to be a perfectionist. And so to kind of work on kind of pushing myself past that, I found that one of the best things I can do is just throw stuff on the page and remind myself that it really isn't that deep. It's really just about me having fun with it. And this is kind of how it's been turning out. Ooh, I actually want to add one more of these little squares at the top. I'm obsessed. I love it. One more thing I would recommend doing if you are planning out your month right now is grab a sticky note and go ahead and put that on your monthly spread. It doesn't matter where you do it, but go ahead and stick it down. That way, whenever you have something that is pending being scheduled and you think the date might change, go ahead and write it down on your sticky note. That way you don't write it down in your planner and then you have to cover it up or change it down the line. So I always love to keep a little sticky note on my monthly spreads. Okay, you guys, we are officially almost done. We are now on to the fourth thing I love to do in my planner every single month, and that is creating a monthly habit tracker. Now, honestly, there are so many different ways you can do this. I'm going to show you guys how I've been loving it. I went ahead and created this little template on Canva. I think that most of this came pre-structured, and I just kind of messed around with it until it fit what I needed from it. I do have quite a few habits that I love to maintain, everything from skin and body care, to going for a walk, to making time for my hobbies, to flossing and oil pulling, all sorts of stuff. And so on my daily habits page, I keep this little bookmark. That way it's really easy for me to flip to it. And I just print these out on Canva. So this is my one from April. Here's my one from March. Here's my one from January. I don't know where February went. But anyways, all I do is I save these as a PNG and then I go ahead and upload it to just a Microsoft Word doc. You do have to make sure that you get the sizing right while you're making it in Canva. And if you look up the size of your Filofax planner page, you'll give you a good idea of where to start. I usually have about 4 of these habit trackers, or any page really, on one Microsoft Word page. I print them out and then I go ahead and just hand cut them myself. This is the hole puncher I use, and it just makes it really easy to make yourself a custom habit tracker that you know you're going to use and love. I've also really enjoyed decorating the backs of them. I don't think I did it last month, but it's just a nice way to make them a little bit thicker. I did also do a little background thing for my cleaning checklist, but that pretty much stays in my planner 24/7. But yeah, when it comes to creating a monthly habit tracker, I would really recommend to do it in a way that's going to be sustainable for you. You can also get your hands on a monthly spread and use that as your habit tracker as well. Like for example, I've seen people use habit trackers in a monthly setup for each individual habit. So let's just imagine that nothing is on here. I guess I could show you this page so that it's not as distracting. But on the side here or at the top or in the columns or something, I would write down the habit that I'm wanting to focus on. And then every day that I did do it, I give myself a sticker or I X it off or something like that. And then the days I don't, then I don't. And that's another way that you can set up a monthly habit tracker if you're just trying to work with stuff you already have. Using a monthly spread is an awesome option if you're not really looking at having a bunch of habits. For me, it just didn't make sense to use it because I'm looking at honestly like over 10 different habits I want to get done every day. But if you're starting small, which I would highly recommend to begin with, it makes it way easier for you to stick to a habit, commit to it, and really turn it into a habit instead of just something that you would like to do. Starting small, starting off with just one, and using a monthly spread to track that can be a really, really amazing place to start. Okay, you guys, we are officially on the 5th and final thing I do at the beginning of every single month to prep for the new month, and that is do my brain dump to-do list. I got these sticky notes from Daiso, and these are what I'm going to be using to do mine for today. I really like this one because it's already sectioned off into 3 different columns, which is really important if you're going to be following this method. But what you're going to do is you're going to write down a to-do column, then you're going to write down an if time column, and then you're going to write down a for me column. Sometimes when I'm doing a brain dump, it just ends up being this collection of things I want to do or things I don't want to forget. And then I have to go through and try to filter it and understand what I wrote. And it just sometimes can be a little bit messy. So I really enjoy doing brain dumps when I know it's not something I'm going to be referencing. It's more of just trying to get things off my mind and onto a piece of paper. But when I'm doing this new month brain dump, it's more of like a brain dump to do prep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down anything that comes to my mind and then give it a category right off the bat. So something that I know we have to do with this month is build the chicken coop. This is in the must category. And then in the if time category, I'm going to go ahead and write down sell clothes. This is one of those things that was on this to-do list and I just never got around to it, and it's because it isn't that high of a priority. So it's not something that has to get done right away, but if I have the time for it, I would love to knock that off my to-do list. And then the final category is my for me category. And I don't know how often I talk about it on here, but I am a firm believer in the solo date. Taking yourself out, spending alone time with yourself, really making sure that you're connecting with who you are. All of those things are super important, and so I really love to do a for me category when I'm doing my monthly brain dump, and I write down some things that I would love to do for myself. And so I would love to finally do my nails. I always end up breaking my thumb and then my pointer finger, and so there's a pretty severe length difference. So I don't know if I should just maintain these and then wait for this one to grow back, or if I should just cut them all down. That way they're all growing at the same rate. But either way, I know that if I go in there, I do a good just little manicure on myself, that'll make me feel a lot better. Another one on the for me category is I really want to take myself out for coffee. I want to buy myself an orchid. I got a really beautiful white one the other day from the grocery store, and now I'm kind of obsessed with kind of turning them into water planted orchids. Like, you know how normally they come in the moss and the bark? I learned that you can actually put them in glass jars with like a little bit of water at the bottom. And so I would love to do that for myself, and I'll usually just kind of brainstorm a couple of other things that I might want to include. And that goes for all these categories, but having a to-do list in this format really helps you understand what your priorities are, which are your to-dos, what your if timers are, so maybe things that aren't as high up on your list, but ones that you don't really want to forget about. And then also it serves as a reminder to take care of yourself. And I think that those are the 3 categories that tend to work really, really well for me. Let's go ahead and pull this off and stick it near the front. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it right over this for now, but I'll probably end up replacing it with something else. But we have officially reached the end of today's video. Those are my 5 must-do things on my planner every single month. Let me know if there's something that you always want to include in your planner, so maybe I can get some inspiration from you guys on something that I could include for July. And you guys, don't forget to check out Craftsy. I'm gonna link everything down below in the description, especially if you're ready to try something creative, or maybe you just want a new way to unwind unwind. For $1.49, you honestly cannot go wrong, and if you do end up taking a class on there, definitely leave me a comment down below so I can maybe check it out too. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. It means so much to me. If you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.